In the first R.I.P.D, veteran Roy Cephas, dead man extraordinaire from the Wild West, teams up with Ryan Reynolds in the Men in Black and Death department in the afterlife. This Men in Black department in the afterlife is basically when you die, you could either go to one of three places. You can either go to the land upstairs, the land downstairs, or you can join the R.I.P.D, the Rest in Peace Department, where if you were previously a soldier, of cop, or some sort of extraordinary person like that, you could be enlisted to return to Earth to find deados, to hunt them down and bring them back to the world below. Deados are essentially dead people that possess the living people so that they can have a chance to live again. And what happens to the people who they possessed? We don't know. They're gone. So Ryan Reynolds helps Roy Cephas, played by the amazing Jeff Bridges, defeat the deados and save the day. There are a few catches, though. There are a few rules to coming back to life to beat down deados in the Men in Black R.I.P.D department. Basically, you do not come back as yourself. When you look into a mirror, you see the body of somebody else. For example, Ryan Reynolds comes back as James Hong, and Roy Cephas here comes back as a blonde lady. This is your disguise. Everybody, except for fellow deados, can only see your disguise. And if you try to talk to your loved ones, such as your wife, your other types of significant others, your parents, your children, if you try to talk to a loved one to try to explain, hey, it's me, I'm back to life, well, it just won't work, because you will speak gibberish to those loved ones and they will not understand what you're trying to convey to them. But if you try to speak to a random stranger, they will understand you then. There are a couple other rules, but that's the basic gist of the Rest in Peace department. This film did not perform well in the box office, despite my loving this film. The premise is basically Men in Black, but supernatural ghosties instead. Instead of hunting down aliens, you're hunting down deados, demons, ghosts. You're hunting those things down, and you're basically doing the exact same thing for the Men in Black, but with the Rest in Peace department. It is an excellent premise, despite being a knockoff of the Men in Black, and I enjoyed it immensely. And so, sleepily, they made a sequel. The Rest in Peace Department 2, Rise of the Damned. This sequel is actually a prequel, where Roy Cephas, previously played by Jeff Bridges, is now played by the younger Michael Weston from Burn Notice. He teams up with Joan of Arc. Yes, the Joan of Arc. See the sword? She's Joan of Arc. She died, and then she joined the Rest in Peace department over the next 400 years, and helps with them by coming back to life many times to hunt down deados. It's basically being a peacekeeper for the dead people. And it's amazing. It's an amazing concept, because you get to come back to life despite not having the fragilities of mortality. For example, if a deado, or even if a regular human, decides to shoot you 100 times full of holes, no matter what they're using, you will not die. Because the thing is, as Joan of Arc explains to you, you cannot die again. You're already dead. So, if you get killed, you will get back up. You are alive because you cannot die because you're already dead. It is a fantastic concept, and you get to come back to Earth to do Earth things while hunting down deados. It is something that Roy Cephas finds very appealing. But he wants to hunt down the people who killed him, and he wants to track down his daughter and make sure that she's safe. So Joan of Arc basically has to play the role that Roy Cephas as Jeff Bridges played to the rookie Ryan Reynolds. But now this time, Roy Cephas is the rookie. And yes, you might be asking this very same question. If Roy Cephas is dead, how is it he is younger when dying and older when dead? It makes no sense! Well, you see, this is the R.I.P.D. Sense is left the building. If you try to apply it to the R.I.P.D., you are going to be in for a very bad time. So if you go into these films expecting things to make sense, expecting things to work the way normal things work, you will be disappointed. You will be angry. You will be expecting a better movie. And, surprisingly, this is perfect schlock. Perfect bad movie, excellent fun. I had so much fun in watching this film. Almost all of the actors and actresses, everybody in the film does their role excellently. They are believable in those roles. Michael Weston as a younger Roy Cephas, it doesn't make sense. I know, how does one die and still age? It doesn't make sense, but it's fine! It's fine. It really is. R.I.P.D. 2, Rise of the Damned, talks about Richard Brake escaping from the land downstairs to inhabit the body of a miner. And this miner ends up using his powers of demonness to gather an army of deados to his side to break open a hole in the downstairs land so that all the people downstairs can come into the middle lands and possess all of the humans and basically make it a hell on earth. It's not something that Roy Cephas and Joan of Arc want. It's not what the man upstairs wants. So they have been dispatched 2 single R.I.P.D. agents, only 2, to save the world. So they save it indeed. They stop Richard Brake, they beat all of the bad guys, and there's even a nice little side plot with one of the deados actually being a good guy. The good guy ends up saying, hey, I was framed for being a bad guy. I am actually a good guy. Let me show you by being a good guy and helping you beat deados. So this good guy deado ends up being retried by the man upstairs, and he gets to go upstairs later on in his life. But for now, he gets to become a sheriff in the Middle Lands, taking over the body of the person that he forcibly took over, and taking on that guy's identity as well, and living up to that guy's name. R.I.P.D. 2 is pretty short. It is about 1 hour and 43 minutes, and it doesn't feel 1 hour and 43 minutes. It feels mostly about 1 hour and 23 minutes. R.I.P.D. 1 was 1 hour and 36 minutes. It is a longer film, and it has... This one is a longer film, and it has a lower budget. The CGI might become extremely grating on you. If you do not like CGI, you're probably not going to like either one of these films, despite this one having just a little bit more believable, better CGI. This film came out almost... How long ago? How many years ago was the R.I.P.D. 1 made? Does it tell you? It does not. R.I.P.D., after looking onto the internet land of internets, is a 2013 movie. R.I.P.D. 2 comes out a decade later with a pretty much CG that looks like it was 10 years ago. So it doesn't really look any different than the previous film if you want to get technical. If you watch this film and you watch this one back to back, you're probably gonna see the same amount of quality. In my opinion, at least. I enjoyed both of them because I don't care about bad CGI. I've seen far worse. And I've seen far better. But it doesn't bother me all that much. R.I.P.D. is a very good time because it has a very wacky absurd premise, and they play it up almost to the level of comedy that the Men in Black play it up. The Men in Black, all of the movies, except for perhaps the international one, are superior to the R.I.P.D. films. But if you enjoy the Men in Black films, and you want to watch more films that are like the Men in Black, then you can give the R.I.P.D. a try, and you just might end up enjoying yourself. This has been the R.I.P.D. 2, Rise of the Damned. It was a very sleepy hit. It wasn't really a sleepy hit at all. It was just sleepy. It came out direct to streaming, direct to video, because I guess they didn't really think it stood a chance at all in theaters. So they just threw it out there. Nobody even knew it came out. And looking at the cover, you might think this was like something that was absolutely zero budgeted type of film. The type of film that you would think, let me just find an example. I found an example. It's the type of film where you go to the video store and you see a film, for example, called The Amityville Harvest, with a type of cover like this that looks like it might have a decent sized budget. Where if you actually watch it, however, it ends up looking like a film that was shot off of $10,000 over the weekend. This is the type of example that is misleading to no end. Just like the R.I.P.D. 2. You see Michael Weston, and you see this person that you might not recognize, but you might recognize them. I don't recognize. I didn't recognize them. I recognize them now, but I didn't recognize them prior. I recognized Michael Weston. I don't know his actual name. He's just Michael Weston from Burn Notice. He's excellent in Burn Notice. Check out Burn Notice. It's an excellent show. With Michael Weston in Burn Notice playing Roy Cephas in this. When you look at the cover, when you look at this, you get the feeling this is one of those cheesy, low-budget, science fiction-y, whatever. Then you recognize R.I.P.D. 2, and you go like, oh, they made a sequel to the R.I.P.D.? It's probably garbage, judging by this cover. It gives me I, Frankenstein vibes, though I really liked I, Frankenstein. You look on the back, and you see all this cool stuff, and you get a real Seventh Son vibe from this back cover with all these little panel screenshots, and this, you get a real Seventh Son vibe. And if you've watched Seventh Son, the film that is a adaptation of the book series The Spook's Apprentice, if you watched that movie and you see that level of CGI, it's probably gonna be on that level for the R.I.P.D. 2, but this has the added bonus of being a Western instead of being a Western. So there you go. This is the R.I.P.D. 2 Rise of the Damned. Watch it if you like schlock. Watch it if you like the Men in Black. But don't expect it to be better than the Men in Black. But you might actually like it better than the Men in Black. I can't control your tastes. I can only control mine to a degree. This has been the Men in Black R.I.P.D. 2 Rise of the Damned. Check it out.